Wally and Dotty's Whimsical Wonderland. Wally the Rabbit discovers that his pet ladybug, Dotty, can talk, leading them on a whimsical adventure filled with mischief and laughter as they embark on a plan to transform a scarecrow into a comical sight. Along the way, they uncover a hidden meadow of sweet clovers that promises even more delightful surprises. Chapter 1. The chatty companion. In a cozy burrow nestled beneath a giant oak tree, Wally the Rabbit was having a very peculiar day. Now, Wally wasn't just your average rabbit with white fluffy fur and twitchy pink nose. No, Wally was a dreamer. He dreamed of carrots that tasted like cupcakes and adventures that took him beyond the meadows. But nothing prepared him for the surprise that awaited him this particular morning. As the first rays of sunshine peeked through the leaves, Wally stretched his tiny paws and blinked lazily. He gave a sleepy yawn, ready for his usual morning routine. But today, something seemed different. Peeking out from his burrow, he glanced around. Everything seemed normal, the dew on the grass sparkled, birds chirped cheerfully, and the smell of fresh lilacs filled the air. "Wally! Wake up, sleepy ears," a voice chirped out of nowhere. Startled, Wally spun around, his ears twitching madly. He was alone, or so he thought. "Who said that?" he squeaked, his heart racing faster than a jackrabbit on espresso. "Down here, you big fluffy muffin," the voice replied, with a giggle that sounded like tinkling bells. Wally squinted and looked down. To his utter amazement, it was his pet ladybug, Dotty. But ladybugs don't talk, do they? Wally rubbed his eyes to check if he was still dreaming. "Surprised?" Dotty said, fluttering her tiny red wings, dotted with perfect black spots. I'm dreaming, right?" Wally stammered, his eyes wide with disbelief. Dotty giggled again. "Nope. Just a little surprise from Mother Nature. I can talk now. And oh, the adventures we can have, Wally." Wally was thrilled once the shock wore off. Who would have thought his best friend, Dotty, could talk? His mind was buzzing with possibilities. Maybe Dotty knew where the sweetest clovers were hidden. Or better yet, maybe she could help him discover the ultimate carrot cupcake recipe. Just as he was about to ask, Dotty interrupted his thoughts. "But first, I have a plan. It involves a lot of giggles and a bit of mischief. Interested?" Wally's curiosity, ever as bouncy as he was, got the better of him. "Of course, Dotty. What's your plan?" Dotty's eyes twinkled mischievously. "Well, it involves a bit of sneaky fun with Farmer Tibbin's scarecrow. But we'll need some sticky sap, a few feathers, and your best hop." Wally's nose twitched with excitement. This was going to be fun. Chapter 2, Straw-Filled Shenanigans. The duo made their way to Farmer Tibbin's field, where the scarecrow stood guard against any hungry birds. It was a sunny day, and the fields were buzzing with activity. Farmer Tibbins himself was busy tending to his cabbages, completely unaware of the mischief brewing. Dotty flitted around Wally's ears, explaining the plan in detail. "So, here's how it goes. We gather some sticky sap from the maple tree, sneak onto the scarecrow, and stick feathers all over him. Imagine the scarecrow looking like a giant bird. It'll be hilarious." Wally chuckled at the thought, his fluffy tail wiggling with glee. "Let's do it." The pair set off on their giggly mission, with Wally bounding through the grass and Dotty buzzing beside him. They reached the maple tree, where Dotty expertly guided Wally to collect the stickiest sap. With a little sap in paw, they tiptoed, or in Wally's case, hop-toed, towards the scarecrow. Farmer Tibbins was still absorbed in his cabbage conundrum, thankfully not noticing the sneaky rabbit and his tiny accomplice. With a leap and a hop, Wally climbed up the scarecrow's pole, sticking feathers here and there, as Dotty buzzed directions around him. Wally worked swiftly, his paws moving with the nimbleness of a squirrel on a nut hunt. In no time, the scarecrow was a flurry of colorful feathers held firmly in place by sticky sap. Dotty floated back, admiring their handiwork. "He looks like a gigantic bird." Dotty snickered, trying to contain her laughter. "Oh, Wally, just wait till the birds see this." Wally hopped down, a triumphant glint in his eye. That was the most fun ever. What do we do next? Suddenly, they heard a loud squawk. The birds had noticed their feathered friend. Crows, sparrows, and blue jays flocked to the scarecrow, perching on him with bewildered curiosity. The sight was so comical that even Farmer Tibbins couldn't help but laugh. "Well, that's a scarecrow of a different sort," the farmer chuckled, tipping his hat at the sight. Wally and Dotty exchanged a proud look, feeling both mischievous and cheerful. Their caper had turned a regular day into one filled with laughter and surprise. Chapter 3. The unlikely hero. News of the talking ladybug and her funny rabbit friend spread quickly among the animals. Wally found himself quite popular, and he loved every moment of it. But Dotty had one more surprise tucked under her tiny wings. One afternoon, as Wally nibbled on a particularly juicy carrot, Dotty landed lightly on his nose. "Wally, guess what? I have a secret." Wally's whiskers twitched with interest. "Another one? What is it, Dotty?" Dotty whispered excitedly, "I overheard the bees talking. There's a hidden meadow full of the sweetest clovers, and no bunny has ever set foot there." Wally's eyes widened with excitement. A secret meadow? The very thought set his heart racing with dreams of endless snacks and adventures. "Where is it, Dotty? Can we go?" Wally asked eagerly, his paws already itching to hop. "Follow me," Dotty said, leading the way with vibrant enthusiasm. Wally bounded along, his mind buzzing with wonder. They crossed bubbling brooks, leaped over sun-dappled stones, and wove through tall grasses that swayed like green waves. Finally, they reached a part of the meadow that seemed untouched by paw or wing. Before them lay the lushest clover field Wally had ever seen. The clovers shimmered like emeralds under the sun, and their sweet scent filled the air. Wally's eyes sparkled with delight. It was like finding a treasure. Dotty flitted around him joyfully. "You deserve the first nibble, Wally. You found the treasure trove." Wally took a tender bite, savoring the clover sweetness. It was indeed the finest he'd ever tasted. He felt grateful for Dotty's companionship and her knack for finding joy in the most unexpected places. "Thank you, Dotty," Wally said, his heart full of happiness. "No, thank you, Dreamer Rabbit," Dotty replied, landing gently on his ear. "For the laughs, the adventures, and most of all, for being my friend." And so, with the sun setting softly, painting the sky with brushstrokes of pink and orange, Wally and Dotty lay in their secret clover meadow. They shared stories and dreams, each one ending in laughter. From that day on, Wally knew that with a friend like Dotty by his side, every day in their delightful corner of the world would be an adventure filled with giggles, discoveries, and a sprinkle of mischief. And as the stars twinkled overhead, Wally drifted off to sleep, dreaming of new adventures, with his chatty little ladybug friend nestled close.